So, hi guys. We're going to get started with our sales meeting. We have a great meeting lined up for you today. Uh, we have a panel here today of realtors that have done very well in the business, and they're going to give you some of their tips and ideas on what has made them successful with prospecting. So we'll hear from them. I'm very excited about it. We did it last year, and it was it was such a great turnout as far as the response, and the agents really love the feedback from our experienced agents. So we're going to hear from them today. We're going to also hear from Shep. Shep's going to give us a market update, I think. Is that correct, Shep?
I tell you what, let's do that.
Okay, we'll do that next week.
Yeah.
So we'll have a little more time to talk to the agents, which is great. So we could start off with Joe. If you could give us a quick market update and what's going on in the lending industry, and we will go from there.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Hey, things are still hot. So we have seen a little bit of a slowdown in the purchase market. The biggest reason for the slowdown that we've seen in the purchase market is a lack of inventory. The homes are just not for sale. I told a few agents the other day, me and my wife run every morning. I ran Blackstock Mills, which is the neighborhood just down the street from me. It's about 1,700 homes in that neighborhood. Out of that entire neighborhood of 17 homes, there was only one home listed for sale. And it's a high demand neighborhood because of the school zones that we're in and the low taxes here in Forsyth County. And so, out of 1,700 homes, only one being available. During this time of the year, on average, we would see, somewhere between 8 and 10 homes for sale in that neighborhood at any given time, but yeah, it's an inventory. We're in an inventory crisis. Let's call it what it is. I'm seeing multiple offer situations going $20,000 and $30,000 above value. I've got buyers that are willing to pay the difference between the appraised value and the actual sales price of the home because they have no other option. If they can't get into that home, they're out of options. They're homeless, and so it's a crazy situation. On the rate side, rates are still good. Conventional rates still right around the 2.99, 3.125 range on your conventional financing. VA loans, you're looking at, the 2.75, 2.875. We have seen a slight tick up in that. And like I said before, it's because the number of loans that are actively in forbearance. We're seeing the government loans, the VA FHA loans, the forbearance numbers continue to tick up. The delinquencies are continuing to tick up. Let's talk foreclosure. So a lot of speculators out there speculating about the wave of foreclosures. I will tell you, most of these forbearance options started in March. Initially, it's a 90-day forbearance. It can be extended up to 1 year. So best case, worst case scenario, depending on how you look at it, the possibility of foreclosures coming onto the market are not going to be until at least summer of next year. Even if we do, with demand levels as high as they are and equity being as high as it is, it's unlikely that it's going to be more of a trickle than a wave. So even if we do start seeing foreclosures come on the market, they're going to be very few and far between. They're going to be absorbed very quickly. Black Knight published data yesterday and said that less than 1% of homeowners are underwater. And that number is near zero when you're looking at entry-level homes. And so if you look at the entry-level home market, most of the average equity on an entry-level home is about $30,000 to $35,000 today. And that's on, a $200,000 home. Where they're seeing the biggest disparity between value of the home and actual, market value and loan amount is on the higher end homes, the $1 million and up homes. That's where they're seeing the largest disparity. And so, I really don't see the possibility of foreclosures. Honestly, if I couldn't make my payments and I was in a bind right now, you can put a sign in the yard and have it. I mean, days on market in Atlanta is under 14. So that is just insane to think that you could put a sign in your yard and have your home sold in 14 days. So I know you guys are feeling it. Refi market, we did see a little bit of a softening over the last couple of weeks, but this week it's ticked back up again. A lot of volatility in the market. We got presidential election going on. It's an election year. It's always volatile. Additionally, there's a lot riding on this stimulus, whether it's a go, it's a no-go, it's a full bill, it's a partial bill, it's targeted stimulus. So there's a lot riding on that right now. And so just be cognizant. Your buyers need to work with a lender that understands the market and knows what's going on, because I've seen rates fluctuate 2.75 to 3.25 in the same day. So if that lender doesn't understand and knows how to watch the secondary market, understand what's happening in the economy, watching the news, you know, they might get bad advice and lock on that 3.25 day instead of that 2.75 day. So I'm there for you. I watch the markets daily. I send out alerts to the team and say, hey, here's what's happening in the market. Like yesterday when we had a rapid sell-off in the market, you know, I get alerts. I pay a lot of money for a lot of analysts to watch that stuff for me. And so when I get those alerts, I make sure my entire team gets notified. Get on the horn with your clients. We get them locked in, save them some money, and they won't be disappointed. Service-wise, we're still kicking it. I will tell you on purchase contracts, it's not that 21-day contracts are not out of the question, but it does need to be a really clean borrower. The biggest delays right now are going to be with title and appraisals. Bottom line is the title industry, the mortgage industry, and the appraisal industry were not ready to have a simultaneous purchase boom in conjunction with the refinance boom. They normally don't go together. They normally offset one another. And that's what the industry is experiencing. And Dodd-Frank didn't help with all the restrictions to become an appraiser. Appraisers, there's fewer and fewer of them as they retire. And the barrier to entry is very high. So very few people are getting in. Those that are staying in, they're not appraising 12 properties a day like they used to. Now they're only doing 6 a day. And so we are seeing delays across the board in appraisals. And then the other issue is with title. For those counties that are fully digital, Columbus, Muskogee County, great digital. Don't see too many delays. When you get into some of these more rural counties, you get into the Lee or Russell, Alabama, I don't think they know what the internet is some days. They still have to physically send an examiner to the office and pull records. They are not, you can't pull title records online in Alabama. So, and by virtue of that, with COVID restrictions, you know, these examiners have to make appointments and they get little small narrows of window. And so it may be 2 or 3 weeks before that examiner can get an appointment to go in there and pull the records in order to do a title exam and issue title insurance. So those are the delays, but we're still kicking it. I've got some contracts called and said, hey, I need to close in 2 weeks. I tell them I'm going to give it a shot. The only thing that's going to slow me down is title and appraisal. So we're going to rush those guys and gals as fast as we can, but you know, I'm kind of at their mercy. So keep sending us your business. We appreciate the referrals. It's been an excellent year, and I want to push it on through for all of us to the end of the year. Let's make 2020 something to remember in more ways than one.
Good deal. Good deal. Thanks a lot, Joe. Is there anything that you'd like to add if Sam is on the call?
I think Joe pretty well covered it. I have talked to some inspectors and appraisers, and mainly inspectors, where they're taking a third of the business that's coming their way, and they're kind of picking and choosing what they want because they're so busy. The turnaround times in all areas are kind of at capacity, and there are some delays. So just keep that in mind when you're talking to your clients.
Okay, good deal. Thanks a lot, Sam. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Katie, if you can't hear me or if the sound drops a little, just let me know. But we have 2 great agents here that's in the business. Rick Gordon actually had a previous appointment, but he said he may try to come in and join us. but we do have two great agents here, and Miss Jackie Leonard and Miss Delois Allen. So we're going to talk to them. We're going to ask them some questions about prospecting and things of that nature. But I first want to start out by asking them how long they've been in the business. So we can start out with Miss Delois. How long have you been in the business?
I've been in for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
3 years. Mhm.
I was thinking it was longer than that. Jackie?
22 years.
22 years, 3 years. So, and I've been in 17. So that's right, full spectrum. So, how many transactions, Jackie, would you like to do by the end of the year?
I'm still pushing 400.
Okay, okay. Are you on track for that?
I should know that answer. I believe so. I
Okay,
believe so.
okay, good deal. What about you, Doris? 50, that's your goal. Okay. How are you looking? You look pretty much like you're on track.
Mhm.
Okay. And what would be your earning goal for the year?
Bring home or gross for the
Just gross.
company over 3.
Okay, okay, good deal. What about you?
80.
Okay. These agents are on it. You hear that? They are really on it.
We don't do this for fun.
That's right, that's right. We don't do it for fun. We're in this business.
It is fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're in this business to make money and open up great relationships at the same time. And that's one of the keys of being a great agent is you continue to have that relationship with your clients, and throughout the years, they'll end up coming back to you. So I know that I've had a lot of repeat customers. Have you, Jackie, had any repeat customers?
I can honestly say well over 80% of my business is from either a repeat customer or a referral from a repeat customer.
Absolutely. What about you, Delois? What are you seeing?
Definitely. I've actually had one customer who's done 5 transactions just this year.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Wow,
Mhm.
great. So let me start with you, Delois, and ask, how did prospecting start out for you?
Miss Jackie's gonna laugh because this is my mentor, guys.
She's mine too. She didn't want me to say
Everything
that.
yeah, she didn't want me to say it either. But everything I know, everything I do is based off of the foundation that Miss Jackie has provided for me. So initially, and I'm not from Columbus, from this area.
Right.
I was brought here just by life. But when I first came here, you know, I really didn't know anyone, and that was a challenge for me on how do I prospect. Well, one of the things I was given from Miss Jackie was to just make sure you're handing out business cards. Seize every opportunity when you encounter someone to let them know who you are and what you do, you know, and not just like a perfume counter, you know, lady just passing out stuff, but building that rapport with someone, talking to them. And then, oh, by the way, I am a realtor, you know, I would love to assist you or anyone you know. So that's how it started out.
Okay, okay. So I kind of looked up what prospecting is, and I kind of put together a definition which says that prospecting is the act of generating new real estate clients or leads through proactive, that's the key word, proactive outreach and outbound communication. It's the first step to get potential clients and communicating with them to convert them from a customer to a client. To convert them from a customer to a client. Rather than waiting for the phone to ring, which is reactive, you do things to go out and get the potential clients. So this is what Delois was just explaining, how she went out because she didn't know anybody here, but she followed those steps that Jackie gave her, and she actually went out and developed those relationships and turned those customers into clients. So Miss Jackie, the guru, so you have 2 of your students up here today. So tell us, how did prospecting start out for you?
Well, I've told this story 100 times that my first broker was Barry Henderson, our mayor's father, and he laid a wonderful foundation for me. So what I told Delois is what he told me, is you've got to give out cards. You've got to talk to people. And for me, that was uncomfortable because that's not my nature. However, he made it plain that to get something you've never had, you've got to do something you've never done.
Great.
And so you can be comfortable and mediocre, or you can be uncomfortable and great. So it's a decision that we all have to make. And on top of that, the other thing that he taught me was give out business cards to give out birthday cards to every one of my clients. And I've been doing that now for 22 years. And I stay top of mind. I give out calendars, other touches throughout the year. I call. And basically my prospecting is from what Mike Ferry was saying, from my database. It's not all from my database, but it is from my database, and it has sustained me so far.
Great. That's great advice. The other thing that I just want to add to that is we have tools on 21 Online to assist with prospecting as well.
Yes.
I've gone over a couple, and Alex has taught about a couple of the prospecting, the newsletters and things like that. So utilize 21 Online to do some of those things for you, like the preferred client club.
I use that.
That is a great option where it's like $58 and that client gets how many touches a year? Is it 7 or something like that?
It's at least 6.
I think it's 6 or 7 touches for the year. And they also send out calendars, they send out postcards. And think about it, guys, if you have one closing and you get, let's just say you even get $500, $58 is a small amount to go towards touching that client for the next 7 years.
Yeah.
7 years. That means you have to do absolutely zero to make that happen. Once you sign up that client and you pay that money, then the system actually sends that out for you. So I'm a big believer in that preferred client club. So Jackie, you had stated that you were nervous and you didn't like doing the prospecting.
Yeah.
So what did you do to get better at it?
Failed first.
Yeah, Mike Ferry says, accept failing as a daily task.
It is. And depending on your personality, you don't like to be rejected. And so the fear of rejection, even from somebody who is not someone you've never met before, can be a real thing. And I had a broker, Paul Mahaffey, and he kind of just broke it down. He said, don't be afraid. They can't eat you and they can't kill you. When it comes to just asking for, can I help you or can I work for you in real estate? And I thought that was a little extreme, but sometimes it's the extreme that gets us to get back to where we're supposed to be and to do what we're supposed to do. So for me, I had to fail first. And don't think I don't fail every day. I do. So, but I wake up again the next day and I have to tell myself, we're going to be great today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what about you, Delois, being that you weren't from here? So I'm pretty sure that it was tough to get your business started because you didn't know anybody here. So what are some of the things that you did to get better, being that you didn't have this group of people that you already knew here?
Social media.
Okay.
So social media has definitely been a blessing to me in my business. Just really getting out there, you know, and I was reviewing the other day my first videos until now, you know, just getting yourself used to doing that, because that is the difference between me just meeting one person and, you know, I looked at one of my videos have been viewed thousands of times. So, you know, and folks are actually calling in. So I just use technology to my advantage now.
Wow, that's a great point. And it's free too.
Right.
It's free.
Mhm.
So we're in an age where social media is is a key where before you had to pay to touch people, and now you have access to so many people for free. And we need to benefit from that. So social media is a great point of how you can reach more people. So that's great. So what form of prospecting has worked best for you as an agent? Would you say that it would be social
I
media?
would.
Okay. So social media is Delois's best way of reaching people. What about you, Jackie? What would you say?
Well, thanks to Laura, who pushed me into the video, social media has become very, very valuable to me.
Yeah.
With doing videos and just the marketing period.
And it's so funny to see that, Jackie, because like,
You know, I hate to count.
yeah, you are more of a laid back person. And those of you that know Jackie knows that she doesn't like to be in the limelight. She's more of a laid back person, quiet, and to actually see your videos and even doing a show promoting other businesses, like that is just amazing to see her growth and see her do that. Because I know that was a challenge for you.
That was a big challenge.
I know that was a challenge. Yeah, so it was great to see that. And it does touch people. I was just looking the other day and I seen that Delois, you were in Atlanta showing condos, and like that's really good to see other markets and what other markets are doing. So I catch a lot of your videos too that I may have normally not seen had you not been doing that. So social media, guys, is a key, but the key is learning how to use it. Okay. What do you think the keys to success in prospecting has been for you, Jackie?
Not getting aggravated when I fail.
Yes.
Start over again.
Right.
If I say that I'm going to do prospecting for an hour and it has not become first nature for me, I may do it an hour Monday, but may not get to it again till Friday. And there were times that I would really be frustrated to the fact that I cannot, you know, I hadn't done it, and I'd be hard on myself. And so basically just saying that it is, just get up, do it again. Get up, do it again. Don't give up, just keep going.
Right, right. And that's very important because this is a tough business,
Right.
and you do get no's, and you do get people that may come across to you as being mean, so to speak. You get that, but you can't just let that defeat you. You got to say, you know what, I'm going to get up,
Yeah.
and I'm going to dust myself off, and I'm going to get started again and just go back out and hit it the next day. Just like I said before, Mike Ferry says, accept failing on a daily basis, but you just can't let that just consume you. So what about you, Delois, the keys to success with prospecting, what do you think?
So taking what we just said and assessing what we did that may have caused the failure. Assessing that, analyzing that, and just taking it and doing something different. You know, I've tried so many different ways until I found what just worked for me. You know,
Right.
Whether it was Mike Ferry's script, you know, and I just keep moving. I just have to keep moving and reassess until you really figure out what works best for you.
You know, that's a great point. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about if we were as intentional with the last 90 days of the year as we are with the first 30 days of the year, 30 days, what we should be doing in this last 90 days, October, November, December, is looking at what worked for you the year. So we need to, just like you said, reassess. When you look at your career, I mean, your real estate transactions this year, you look at, well, what has been working for me? What happened in these last couple of months that helped me be successful? And then you start planning your schedule for next year to do more of that, do more of that thing that works, and start taking out the things that you tried but just didn't work. So then you go into the new year with a great game plan.
Right.
So I think that that's important. This is the time of year where you should be reorganizing your schedule, looking at your sphere of influence, your database, going back and seeing what worked best for you. So it's always changing. It's always changing. And now in this time of coronavirus, we have to do real estate different.
Right.
We have to change. And sometimes that gets us out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
So even as we're setting up here, we have to be mindful of social distancing. Real estate has always been a relationship business, and we have to change the way that we're handling our relationships. It feels funny to me to meet a client and not, shake their hand or give them a hug or something like that. And it's not necessarily, it may not be that I'm scared of them, but I don't want to offend anybody.
Right.
And you want to make sure that everybody is comfortable in this time of doing business, and it can be uncomfortable and different. So, but that's part of the growth process.
Right. Right.
When you think about a rubber band, the more you stretch it, the tighter it gets.
Mm-hmm.
But that means that you're increasing,
Right.
You're growing, and that rubber band becomes bigger and larger, but that's your business stretching as well.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's a little uncomfortable to do that. So don't be afraid to fail, and don't be afraid to try new things. Jackie said that failing is a daily thing, but she doesn't give up. Dolores talked about, trying stuff, not being afraid to try things, and then just changing it up as she needs to, as to what works best for her. So those are some keys to prospecting that, guys, we need to write that down. This is great information. So let me ask you this, Dolores. How much time do you spend on prospecting? Is it something you do daily? Is it weekly? Is it once a month? How do you do that?
So one of the great things about having an assistant is they fix your schedule for you. So she makes me prospect 1 hour every weekday, and it's already set. So nothing else can come on my calendar during that time, which allows me, now I don't have an excuse not to prospect.
Right.
So from 9 to 10, that's what I'm doing.
Good deal. So that's the reason why we changed our sales meeting, because we were having sales meetings at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was right in the middle of agents prospecting time. So Alex Shep and the leadership team decided, hey, we're going to change the time of the sales meeting so that agents can get out and prospect. So, but a key thing that you said is setting a schedule, and you don't stray away from that.
Right.
Every day your assistant has your schedule, and bam, that's on your schedule, and you stick to it. So during that time, do you take phone calls from, or do you do other stuff, or you're just really committed to that from 9 to 10?
So I also have a business line.
Mhm.
So those calls are automatically, everything is just forwarded to that. So I have a clear mind basically to prospect.
Okay. That's a good idea. Didn't think about that. So business line, check the box on that.
It's free too.
Yeah.
Tell them
So
how you do that.
yeah. So how do you do that? Google Voice?
Google Voice.
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
So my assistant accepts the calls. Just keep them moving.
Okay.
And she schedules for anyone who wants to talk to me.
Okay. So then that frees you up to do other things in real estate as you need to. Another thing that is good, these are top producing agents. Now, when I tell you that they're in like out of 800 agents in our area, they are well within the top 100. So you're getting experience from people that works, that we know it works. So they're in the top 100 and they're in the top tier in this Century 21 office and in Georgia. So you're getting information from top producing agents. Another thing that I recognize is you guys both have assistants. And how important is that, and how much has that helped you all out as far as doing other things?
Well, Alex will love that I'm about to give him some kudos. He's the one that pushed me into doing this.
Okay.
I started dibbling and dabbling with an assistant about 4 or 5 years ago, kinda, and around near the end of 18, after I went to Mike Ferry, Alex said, you can't do this by yourself. You got to have somebody who's going to be here and is going to be committed. And that's when Brooke came on. And again, when business was flowing real well in 19, he said, Miss Jackie, it's time to add somebody else. And I usually resist but I know he's telling the truth, but I usually resist him. And I could not resist his wisdom. And that's when Laura came on.
Okay.
And he just came to me again a month ago. And I'm like, I really hate it when you come to me because you cost me money. But he's saying that I may need to look at bringing on a virtual who can handle some things because I've got them just full
Wide
blast,
open.
wide
Yeah.
open.
Mhm.
They are so important. They are so important to my business. It's when one is gone, the other one, and I feel it.
Right.
Because everybody has their own task, and it allows me to produce the way that I do. Something my husband said to me years ago when I would tell him, you need to go out and get more business, go out and get more business. He said, the problem is my name is important.
Right.
And if I get the business and cannot support it with a spirit of excellence,
Right.
that damages my name.
Absolutely.
And so I'm the same way. My name is more important to me than any commission. And so when I bring in business, I have to be able to support it with a spirit of excellence. So I tell anybody, Mike Ferry said in 2018, when I went to see him, if you're doing at least 30 or 40 transactions a year, you need some help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Valuable information. Valuable. So as far as your prospecting, how do you do that daily, weekly, monthly, or do they handle that for you? How does that work?
No, I do my own prospecting. However, I am not as disciplined as I should be. And I will give everybody a testimony. Last Friday before last, I thought I was going to pull my hair out. And I have a coach, just a business coach, a mentor who is always on me about time management. And if there is a thing that I don't do well yet, it's time management. And last Friday, I was like, that's it. That is it. Everybody was calling. I had people who want, hey, I'm approved to buy a house. Hey, can you come list my house? I got things going on. And it was after 3 o'clock, so they were gone. And I was like, no, I need help.
Right.
And basically when I calmed down, which was very quickly, I said, it is my own fault because I must manage my time better.
Absolutely.
But I do prospect every day in some way. The goal is 1 hour.
Okay. Good. So prospecting, both said that they do it on a daily basis and they at least commit to an hour. So make sure that you're putting that in your schedule as far as prospecting when you actually do that, okay? Next couple of questions is, what would your advice be to new agents? What do you think would be your advice just coming into the business? We do have quite a bit of new agents in the company. So what would be your advice to them?
The biggest piece of advice I can give you is to get a mentor. And not just anyone. Kind of get a feel of agents, but get someone who is seasoned in the business because they've already failed, they've already bumped their heads, they've already tripped over themselves. So if you really want to do well in the industry and you listen to what they're advising you to do, you won't have to go through all of that, you know, and you can really start out successful.
Right.
That's my thing.
You know, that's kind of like a parent. Like when you have kids and you know, they do all the things that you've done before and you're trying to guide them and say, hey, don't do this. We tried this. You know, my mom used to always say, the stuff that you're doing, I did years ago. So you're not fooling me with these things.
Right.
But that's great advice. Getting a mentor that has been in the business for some years, they've already, you know, went past the roadblocks and, you know, made mistakes, and they can help you on your path to greatness by allowing you to avoid those things. So that is a great point, getting somebody that you have actually, that has mentored you and told you where the roadblocks are. So that's a great piece of advice. What would you say to new agents, Jackie?
Yeah, the same thing. Listen, manage your time. One of the things that I told Shep and Alex, I was just, not that they need me to be proud of them, but I am. With I came here in 2012, and to see the difference from when I came to where we are now, they genuinely care about agents producing. They give the tools, they give themselves, they make it available. And I've told a lot of people also, going to Mike Ferry in 2018 gave me the shot in the arm that I needed. I was just about ready to get out of the business. And they had to bring me back. You can use all the tools in the world. You can be a 10 when it comes to technology, but it's always going to be the foundation of talking to people. You can't get around talking to people. You can't be afraid to talk to people, and you can't be afraid of the word no. So listen, I agree with what Delois says wholeheartedly, and get out there. Listen to your mentors. They are the ones, as she said, that's going to already hit those pitfalls, have already bumped their head, and just do what they tell you to do.
Right. That's great advice, because I remember when I started out, and I was at a fairly large company, and the broker didn't have time to do a one-on-one. And a lot of the things that I learned was just through trial and error. And Shep and I were talking about, we always talk about it. It took 6 months for me to sell my first house. And like some of the agents that we're training in our office, like the ink is not even wet on the paper, and they're going to the closing table.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing, especially when you're just getting in the business. You spent the money on the test, you've bought business cards, you did all this stuff. You need a closing. So the quickest way to get there is having a mentor to talk to you about stuff, to say, hey, this is the quickest way to start producing. And for you to be only in the business 3 years, because Shep and I talked about it, it's like it takes about 2 years or something, 2 to 3 years to really get going in this business. And you're at year 3, and I actually really thought you had been in longer. But you're doing extremely well in the business, because like you said, hey, I had a mentor, I listened to what that mentor said, and it put you on the fast track. And now you're 3 years in and doing exceptionally well. So that's a good thing. So let me ask you this. You kind of answered that. What was the one thing that took your real estate career to the next level, which was having a mentor and listening. If you were to give just 3 pieces of advice, what would you say that has helped you the most in this business? What would you say?
Okay. Definitely be sociable, be approachable. You can't go around with a scowl on your face and expect to exude that you want to help people. It just won't happen. Another thing, and I got this from Miss Jackie as well, no matter what, from Monday to Friday, I'm wearing this realtor pin.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter what I have on, you know, and I do try to make sure I look like a businesswoman every day, but I'm wearing this pin. Folks just come, oh, you're a realtor? I don't even have to say hello at this point. They're just going to come up and talk to me. That, and that's how I'm making it known, you know, who I am. Also, you want to think about what type of business person do you want people to think you are? Do you want them to think, you know, you're just not really serious about it, you know, and so you go and you don't really show yourself as a business person and realtor, and also continuing to educate myself. I think it was after 1 year of being a realtor, I started for my MBA, my master's in business administration. Year 2 is when I graduated. So that really helped me organize and have a mind of business, of doing business, organizing the business aspect of real estate. You know, how do I want to grow?
Right.
Where do I want to grow? Where do I see myself, you know, in 5 years? Things like that, instead of just, this is just something I do, you know, really taking myself serious so that others can.
Right, right. What about you?
Ditto.
Well, it had to be ditto because she said it came from you. So
It did.
so it had to be ditto. Yeah, I think that's great advice. You know, I think we always have to be in the mode of learning.
Always.
You've been in the business 22 years, and I came up here was it yesterday? And Jackie's in there online on a Zoom call. GRI. 22 years, and she's still learning, you know. So
Yeah, Brad asked me yesterday, why are you taking GRI? I said, well, honestly, most consumers don't even know what it stands for. I love learning. And if I can learn and get a designation with it,
right.
might as well do it.
You know, he's fine.
I was just about to ask, what is GRI?
It's the Graduate Realtor Institute. And I'm hoping I'm saying that right, but it's a designation to let you know that you have gone through a set of training to help you be better with buyers, to help you be better with sellers. Yesterday's class was dealing with systems and tools, so social media, marketing, all of that. And we just, am I busy? Was I too busy yesterday? Yeah. But you have to, as Delois said, keep learning. I'm always in a continuing education class because you don't know everything. And you can gain something from someone else that will help your business be better. And I got a lot of good information over there yesterday, which I'm giving straight to Laura for the marketing part of it.
Absolutely. So that's good information. And another thing, guys, Delois brought up a good point about wearing your name tag or
Yes.
a realtor pin.
Yeah.
Because those things spark conversation.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you don't even have to say anything to anybody, and they see that pin and they associate you with a realtor, and they may just say, hey, you know, I was looking to sell my house, or what's going on in the real estate arena. And that's a good way to open up conversation and to a potential client.
Right.
But you, 22 years, and you'll come in to work with your name badge on that says Jackie Leonard. Yeah. So
Of all days.
right.
When I'm in front of everybody. Yeah.
It's always
She always has it on, and you would think 22 years, if you mention Jackie Leonard, everybody in Columbus knows who she is, but she still wears that name tag because it may be one person who may not know who she is. So I doubt it, Jackie. But anyway, so it's more like a household name, but she still wears that name badge. And it's things like that. When you hear of an agent that's been in the business 22 years and still doing these things like getting continuing education, still doing stuff on a daily basis as far as prospecting, man, guys, that ought to let you know that these things work. So 22 years in the business. She's tried. She says that she still fails on a daily basis. So I want to encourage the new agents, don't get discouraged when you don't get a listing. You go on a listing appointment and don't get it. Don't get discouraged. When you go on, when you take a phone call and they tell you no, don't get discouraged. So you're only facing what other men and women have met. So it's something that you go through, but I just want to thank both of you all taking time out of your schedule to actually sit here and talk to agents about prospecting and what has worked best, because sometimes we tend to keep that information close to the breast and we don't like to share it with people. So
I would like to finish by saying this to every agent, whether you've been in the business 1 hour or 100 years, something that's extremely important. You have to stay humble. You must stay humble. And you can never look at your client as a paycheck.
absolutely.
You are a servant, regardless of what title you have, no matter how great you think you are a servant, and you must always, always approach every person as, how can I work for you? If we lose that, we start counting the commissions before they've happened. In 22 years, I can honestly tell you, every transaction, I never know what my commission's going to be. I'll get to the table and it may be a 2% commission, or it may be a 3.5% commission. I never know till I get to the table, because that has never mattered to me. And because of that, people appreciate the way that I treat them. I'll sell a house if it's $2 all the way up to $200 million. And I treat both clients the same. So stay humble. No matter how great you may think you are in your mind, you are still a servant.
Absolutely. Any closing message that you'd like to add to it?
No, I won't take away from that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That was great. That was great. So guys, we're at about 11:52. Were you about to say something, Katie?
Yes, Sam put in the group chat that he wears his name tag around to help start those conversations as well.
Right, absolutely. Name recognition, that's branding yourself.
Mhm.
When you have your name tag on, you're a walking billboard, so to speak. So this was great. I think that we learned a lot. I learned a lot. Thank you for sharing your information with us. One thing that we did not do, and I want to apologize, we did not start this meeting with prayer.
Right.
So I apologize for not doing that. But let me ask, is Herman on the call? Herman, are you on the call?
I don't see him listed.
You
Okay.
can pray.
All right, so what we could do is, Shep, if you don't mind closing us out in prayer. Guys, we thank you for listening in. We're gonna let Shep.
Oh, what about the September to Remember?
Is
Yes.
Alex, are you doing this September, or Katie?
No, I'm here, guys. So I'm gonna do a live of myself. I'm looking pretty rough because life's all about time management, and I knew that today was gonna be a hard day. So I was like, I need to go to the gym and listen to this. So I'm gonna do the announcement here for September to Remember. Our winners. All right, here you go. I'm pretty exhausted, people. We see. I did like a.
I just saw you downstairs dressed up about 20 minutes ago.
I know. But then I was thinking, like, I need to do like my workout for today because I'm not going to be able to do it the rest of the day. And I knew you were going to do such a good job with Mr. Lewis and Miss Jackie. I was like, I need to knock this out. So anyways, all right, guys, we're going to do an announcement. Found this scroll. Give me a second. So I want someone to explain to me what was September to Remember about. I thought it was a pretty cool competition. Just like quick 20 seconds before I read off the numbers. Okay, well, I'll go over it. The whole point of the competition was that, as a new agent, sometimes you get intimidated because you're like, how am I going to win something when you have other people doing 5 or 6 transactions a month. So in the September to remember, you got points for going to a listing. Even if you didn't get the listing, or getting 100 people in your database, or setting up your monthly news flyers, all that stuff. So you got points, not necessarily sales did count, but you got points for activities that grew your business. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead. Miss Katie, can you give me a drum roll? So the first prize is going to be an iPad. And with 191 points, which is pretty crazy, the iPad goes to Miss Jackie. So give her a hand of applause. Whoa, good, good. But then, this is what I'm talking about. The second and third prizes are going to like new agents that, not only did they do a little bit of sales, but they did a lot of activities to grow their business. And these 2 people are both going to get AirPods. And there's only 1 point difference between them. But Marina had 50 points and Daniele had 49. So each one of you guys,
Yay!
yeah, each one of you guys are going to be getting a set of like AirPods. And then Miss Trina from our Auburn office, she did pretty good. We're going to get her like a $50 gift certificate, but she came in with 28 points. So
Thank
hand of
you.
applause for Miss Trina. Good job, Miss Trina.
Thank you.
That's good. Good. And our 5th place was Herman Ivy. So Herman got 25 points, and he got like a $50 gift certificate too. So anyways, we're going to do a competition for October and for November, at least for November. But I want to thank everyone that participated. That's right. You guys did a really good job. So,
Thank you.
thank you. So anyways, that's all I got, Anthony.
Thanks a lot, Alex. We appreciate it, man.
So I got my Ranger shirt on.
I see.
Hey, all right, guys.
Great job. All right, so we're going to let Shep pray us out, guys, and then we'll let you go on with your business.
Okay. All right, thanks for everybody for coming. I sound good.
It's like special effects. You have to go like this, Chef. In the year 2000. In the year 2000. Anyway,
All right, here we go. Ready? Okay, thanks everybody.
Now we can't hear you at all.
Okay. All right, I just want to thank everybody for coming, and we had some great information. I hope you'll take it to heart and apply it to yourself. Find out what works for you. Be diligent, work hard, and God will bless your business. So let's just pray. Lord, we just thank you for this great panel today and their testimonies about how they've done, Lord. So I just pray you give everyone the discipline to do what you called them to do and be excellent at it, Lord, and be true servants, as Jackie said, to the public. Father, and that's the main thing, Lord. So again, we just thank you for this day. Help us to apply what we've learned today to our lives. In Christ's name, amen. Amen.
Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week. I hope you got great information and was blessed by the meeting. Y'all take care. Thanks for tuning in.